To the German Catholic Church. The Canadians are poisoning German Catholic schoolgirls just to link crimes against the church to the Department of Defense, and your response is transgender priests. You jump on the first opportunity to take a dive when when the communists accuse a 12-year-old of raping Dobermans. You're like, I'll buy that for $1. Oh, he did what? You're obviously already gay as fuck. I'm a theologist. Insider. Inside what? Inside your mom. Can you imagine any divinities program in the world prepared to handle the likes of me? I know you're not supposed to say anything directly to me, because the argument is that if, like, I know what you're talking about, I must have, it's an implication of guilt, but I have studied theologies from a young age and endured far too much abuse to watch my family, my friends, my community punished unfairly for the blowback of somebody just fabricating a link, just justifying an excuse for their mistake out of whole cloth. Perfect example, Trudeau dressing up for Barbie. I know exactly what he's talking about because it's the only isolated exception, and it wasn't mine, but I remember. Any excuse to take a dive for a chance to sell these little blonde kids. Genius has its limits. Stupidity knows no bounds. George W. Bush said, if you see something, say something. You obviously wouldn't have known if I did. I'm supposed to, there's a new national security apparatus. It's real annoying. For the record, the doctor lied. For instance, first, do no harm, or you're not a goddamn doctor. 2 planes in a paper fire minus 3 towers. Oh, I'm a liar. It was an inside job. Sir Isaac Newton wasn't even in on it. I went back to my unit. That's why I was on the bus. They're talking about what I did on the bus. They know I was on the bus. Able Danger was a counterattack. It was a booby trap. It was automatic. It was a contingency for an exception to American hegemony. It was supposed to be a signal, like we were supposed to do something. I wasn't thinking of that at the time. I just went back to my unit. I was ready to go back to work. The entire planet has been taken over by homos and fucking retards. They're using human shields. Send me a sign, oh Lord. Oh, a fart blossom in the sky over San Francisco. Why don't you go fuck yourself? What if the mail worked? I don't worship the government, in case you couldn't tell. And corporate doesn't hold a candle to us. No, those people don't get any capitalism. Steal faster, we're losing. We're still losing. How do we... Oh, just bet against ourselves. Dive. Just take a dive. Go down in the first round. Before somebody else gets the contract. They put it on Bain Capital. Why? Because it's an American company trying to keep the money here, as opposed to Donald Trump jumping line straight to the Saudis. Not in person, but guess what, Trumpy Bear? We just caught Jared Kushner with $2 billion. Dick Cheney, nobody was authorized to act on my behalf. I went back to my unit, for instance. They wanted me dead. They should have sent me to Bosnia. Leave the neighborhood watch to try me for 15 years before an insurance company brings out the Just Add Water gang. Finally shows their hand. Cut your losses, I said. You know what comes next? I don't have to say it, do I? It's better if you just do it. They said, the Koch brothers now said that, the Koch or Koch brothers said that George W. Bush declared to the Central Intelligence Agency, if the people ever find out what we've done, they'll string us up from the lampposts. Can we confirm or deny? What insider? It wasn't me. This broadcast mass media commie zombie apocalypse was devised between Marx and Hitler by great economic thinkers at the time. Except they're not so great because, number one, communism, all food comes from the sun, all governments compete. Anything in the middle that doesn't mesh is only temporary. Communism does not exist. And furthermore, Islam, that's 1,500 years of me being worth more than your whole goddamn operation. Wouldn't know a religion if it jumped out and bit your asses off. The messenger of Allah is not a mailman, Cheney. His depiction is haram because he is a fugitive. You trust Harvard because you have no choice? I want you to imagine the lords of Scottish castles facing certain death to challenge me over a maiden who was not a virgin. Think about the the risk-reward ratio. Why would they bother? That's not religion, it's a scam. And what's your exit strategy, stupid? Hope the messenger of Allah spares you for our wickedness when they purge the land, all the stupid all at once. You have become the communists. Did you mean to do that? Capitalism relies on due process. You don't just make up excuses to deny it to certain people. Talk about the Jews. This ain't kosher. Indirect encounters are non-admissible as testimony. It's practically your civic duty to lie to a corporate plant. You're goddamn right it was me. I did it. What? Act like I owe you something we can't settle in lead, son. Sneak off and go fry somebody, like some go liquidate an account with no idea, no connection until, like, just blame me, right? Somebody will walk back and forth across you. That's why you sneak off and go back to touching each other's butts and giggling like schoolgirls. You got some bad intel. Very bad. Harvard invokes pirate custom. That's why they're such a prestigious Ivy League university. There's no rules. They've been fascists the whole time. The idea is such an injustice was committed that they'll cut every corner, you know, break any rule to make it right. But what about the victim, you assholes? Like, I was at her birthday party. Nobody said a goddamn thing to my face. Why? Because they just wanted to liquidate this space program. Should Elon Musk have to suffer for that? Well, okay, I'm gonna let you know, Elon, that the kid is the child of the girl's father. I am not obligated to the limitations of what passes for intelligence these days. The National Defense Authorization Act cannot afford me. You cannot ban waterboarding. It is not within the scope of human authority. I don't know who Harvard thinks they are. Like, I know exactly what's going on. I was not either conscious or awake, aware, or present when it happened. Somebody tried to kill me. They appeared to be justified. I didn't want to just, don't want to say anything to me. All right, well, you have to figure out what your problem is. It's not the doctor ripping off the insurance company. Okay. You know, it's funny. If we had just gone with that, it probably would have contributed to a resolution. I'd have been none the wiser. I'd have never figured it out. I mean, I thought it was a psychological problem. They told me it was like a common psychological problem. How often do they rape little boys under sedation?